The number one deleter of men is men getting caught up into situations with each other because of a woman. That's what they say, at least.
So KR, did we? Do you want to? I mean,
No, we,
is,
we, we can watch a couple of extra minutes from the
okay.
great
Okay,
O'Shea.
let's do that.
And let me tell you, sometimes you might come across that guy at the grocery store, come across that guy when you're picking up your kids and he's there. You want to be with her, but guess what? Ain't nothing you can do about it, bruh. And you got to be okay with that. In life, there are going to be situations in which you cannot control the outcome, but what you can control is how you respond. See, that's why we're here today. And it might not have been a woman that was the demise of these officers, but they just couldn't control their emotions. Now, was Mr. Nichols giving them a hard time? According to them, possibly yes, but it doesn't give them the right to try to beat them to try to beat the man to death, because that's stupid. And also, we got to understand in life, people are going to try you. Everything's not going to go your way. All right. Everything's not going to go your way. And you need to be able to figure that out. That even though things are not going my way, I don't want to play into it where things really don't go my way. That means if I respond, and Simple the Peace always say that, you need to make sure that you can mentally respond to something first. And a lot of times, you'd be surprised, a lot of black men are in good positions of strength, good positions of power. And when things come about, we physically react before we mentally respond. And take the time to think for a minute. Just think about what will happen if I respond to this negative way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
Continue.
basically what we talked about.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's take your time. Take your time and think about. You shouldn't actually be thinking about it. Just don't respond, guys.
Yeah.
Don't respond. Take the L, because at the end, and maybe you can consider it an L. Just
What?
take the L and keep it pushing, as they once said.
Yeah. One thing I did, it was something I worked on. This was like a couple of years ago. I want to say it's probably about a good 8 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago. I was in a very bad place. I was pretty down. A lot of things weren't going the way I thought that they should be going, both from work aspect to relationship aspect, those type of things. And I started reading and really trying to dive into understanding what the source of my pain, my painful experiences were. And I realized that it was me all along. I mean, it was me, and it was just my mindset and the way of looking at things, specifically trying to blame everything on every other people because I am good. I didn't understand how a good person like me could suffer like that, right? But when I realized that I was the source of my own suffering, I did something. I did something that I don't know if it's stoic. I do think that stoicism might have influenced it.
Mm-hmm.
I started to imagine scenarios where things weren't going my way and letting the anger and the aggression or the sadness or all the other negative energies, negative feelings and emotions, you know, um, come up. I wanted to feel them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I let them go. And one of the things I did was actually thinking to myself or imagining that someone, because at that particular point I didn't have a relationship, I was single, but I did picture a woman that would be my significant other. Not that doesn't even necessarily need to be a wife or a girlfriend. It can also be someone you really like, right?
Yeah.
Just picture someone you really like going raw with someone.
Oh, that's total disrespect. Yo, guys, that is total disrespect.
Just the thought of that, so
Yeah.
thinking of that and letting it go. I'm serious.
You
So
gotta do that though. You gotta do that. The
you will
pain.
you will see that if you keep doing it, you're basically in a simulation.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andrew Tate. You're basically
Oh, that's Elon. Elon.
that's a different simulation, but
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
different one.
But let's say it's just like you're preparing just like astronauts before they go to space. They do a lot of training here on Earth first, different scenarios. So you basically do it, but from within. So just some thought exercises. And what I realized was that I could actually, and people throw this term all over the place, love, but you can actually love people as people for their good and their bad. And when people do you wrong, you can just accept it for what it is. Remind yourself that it has nothing to do with you and keep on pushing. It is what it is. But it starts with the exercises. Doing it. Don't wait until something happens, because now they might be doing the thought exercises in jail.
That is a visualize. Visualize the scenario. Visualize the scenario and then run through it. Or even
Well,
in this case, you probably have to visualize it because you cannot do it in real time. But you can some certain scenarios you can visualize for yourself in order to prepare yourself mentally when you get into that zone. That doesn't mean do you ever get there,
yeah.
but
And you don't need to picture, you don't need to have a girlfriend or a wife. You just need to conceptualize a significant other or someone you really like. You just conceptualize. For example, you conceptualize a boss or a business partner that does you wrong. You can conceptualize kids that become ungrateful. I mean, you just prepare yourself for situations. So when the actual situation presents itself, you have dealt with. You can handle the situation better because you've dealt with it countless of times before.
yeah, you basically have time to process, and it lowers your emotional reaction, which gives you more headspace to think about how you're going to react to it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be clouded by emotions. That will definitely put you in a situation
Yeah.
which
Disadvantage.
you either may lose it all, either your career, either your life. Because how many times they always say this: the number one killer of men.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jesus. Oh, I was too passionate. But we are at 113, so probably
That is
I hope the system didn't hear that.
if the
The
clip.
number one deleter of men. You can still clip it out.
I can. I'm going to.
But you shouldn't do that. Otherwise, the flow is kind of screwed up. But
Yeah.
the number one deleter of men is men getting caught up into situations with each other because of a woman. That's what they say, at least. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the data.